Feeling better.
You're not sick anymore? Last time I talked, you were like getting over the flu.
Yeah, that was last week, right? Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a cough still lingering, but other than that, I am doing well. So, and I had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off of this week, so I was able to get some rest.
Good. Have you binged at all?
Have I binged?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Because you're working so hard, because it takes so much control and self-constraint.
No, I haven't. No. Well, what I have been doing is like whenever I am hungry, I am eating stuff that I haven't eaten in like a really long time.
Yeah. Those are the foods you've demonized, shamed, shunned, hid from. And they're usually foods that you've used to binge on, you know. They were trigger foods. Yeah.
Like, for example, yesterday we were dismissed early because it was gonna snow and whatever, and I was home and it wasn't really doing anything, so I was like, let me go to the movie. So I went to the movie, and I was starting to get hungry, so I wasn't sure if I was like, as I was driving to the movies, I thought about getting some nachos with cheese.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And I haven't eaten, like, I think the last time I ate those was back in, like, it had to be, like, when I lived with my mom, and that was back in 2008.
Yeah.
So it was definitely before 2008. So then I got to the movie theater, and now, for whatever reason, now they have the calories next to everything.
Oh, I know, isn't it crazy?
I know. So then I saw the calories next to the nachos with cheese, and then I was like, whoa. And then I saw the calories next to the small popcorn, and then I was like, oh, that's better. But then in my head, so here I'm having an inner battle.
Yeah, I love it. Yes.
Like, wait, like I came here and I said I wanted to have nachos. If I got hungry, I would have nachos with cheese. Now I'm here and I'm looking at these numbers, and now I want popcorn. Now I want to get popcorn, but it's not really what I want. So I ended up getting the nachos with cheese.
Good for you.
As I was watching the movie.
Yeah, wouldn't you rather get the nachos with cheese and really enjoy what you wanted and gain weight than to go back into, I can't have those, I have to restrict, I have to get the low calorie option so I don't gain weight? Which one would you rather?
That's pretty much the conversation that went on in my head.
That's so good.
Now what I am finding I don't want to say difficulty with is it's like, okay, so I'm hungry and I'm eating all this stuff, and then I kind of don't know where to stop.
Well, and are you having any anxiety about the food? Are you, in your mind, are you saying, well, I should only have a few bites? Are you telling yourself, I will only have a little bit. I'm going to give myself the freedom of the nachos, but I'm just going to have a little bit. Are you having any of those conversations?
I think what's happening is, there's a little bit of anxiety. There is. I would be lying if I would say that there was.
I'm glad, because you need to be, if you lie, I can't help you. That makes these sessions worthless, right? So by telling the truth, that's good. I need to hear that. There's nothing wrong with you having anxiety about eating. It just means that you still are hoping you don't gain weight. Right?
Okay.
So that's why I went right there. That to me is like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. It's very difficult to listen to the body when you have anxiety. So that's what I have found when people are still afraid to gain weight. So the benefit of you at least giving yourself the opportunity to eat the foods you want to eat is that you're no longer binging. The downside, if you're not willing to gain weight, is that you have to hold yourself to a form of restriction with that food. So we could say, well, you're not implementing the good and bad food morality of food right now. You're giving yourself freedom of what you want to eat. However, you're still implementing scarcity, limitations. You're still withholding or not allowing the body to guide you because you don't trust that if your body guides you that you won't gain weight. So there's still a degree of controllingness in the foods you feel that are threatening or fattening, right? So again, awesome job for getting the foods that you would normally say, I can't, it's bad, I can't do it. So that's huge. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So the next step then would be to say, well, why don't you let your body tell you when to stop eating it? What that would require is that you shut off all of your controlling mechanisms. And if you do that, what's the risk?
Okay.
I need you to answer that question.
Oh, okay. I told you that.
I said,
let
what?
your body tell you. That was the last thing I heard. Let
Okay.
your body tell you.
So if you let the body tell you when to stop eating, that means you have to turn off all of your controlling mechanisms.
Okay.
Meaning, I should only have this much, I can only have that much. If I only have this much, I can have this many calories, and I won't be able to, you're that brainwashing from the diet industry, right?
Okay.
Which is only there to manage your weight. It's the only reason why it's there. So if you get rid of that, if you get rid of all of those controlling mechanisms, those controlling the mind controlling thoughts around that food, and you let your body tell you when to stop, what's the risk?
I feel let my body tell me when to stop. Well, what do you mean? Like, what's the risk? Like, there is no risk.
Yes, there is. If you're not controlling your food in any way.
Yeah. So in my mind, what's the risk of not controlling my food is gaining weight.
You got it. So so this tells me there's a reason why you're holding on to those controlling mechanisms.
Okay.
Why is that?
Why am I controlling?
Why are you still holding on to these controlling mechanisms with these foods?
Because I guess maybe deep down, like, I don't want to gain weight.
Correct. You got it. It should feel right. You should be like, yeah, deep down, even if I have to tell the truth, I really don't want to gain weight. So I am anxious when I eat those foods. I do. Because they're threatening me. They're threatening my thinness. I could gain weight. They're a vulnerability. So the good news is you're allowing yourself to eat them. That's good news, right?
Yeah.
The downside is you're still controlling those foods. Right?
Okay.
So what happens when you're still controlling these foods is you still experience anxiety. You're still experiencing the anxiety that these foods could be threatening your thinness. So I guarantee you're checking your weight. Or body checking still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like body checking. Looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah, you're still trying to... Yeah, but you're still, to some degree, trying to manage and make sure that you didn't gain. I just want to make sure I'm not gaining. I want to make sure, okay, I let myself have it. Thank goodness I didn't binge. That's relieving in and of itself. Right? So that's awesome. Now, you're experiencing the anxiety of fear of gaining. So that projects into needing to still control the foods you think are threatening. That's where the anxiety comes in. That makes it very, very difficult to even listen to hunger because you have all this chatter going on around how to control the food. So I want you to rethink this. I just want you to really go here in your mind. Just close your eyes and I want you to really go here in your mind. You are no longer allowed in any way or have access to any form of control in any way. I want you to imagine you are completely blind, 100% blind. How are you going to know how much to eat? If you don't know what the contents are, you don't know what it is, you can't see it, you can't see the size of the cookie. You don't know how much.
By fullness.
Yeah, you would have to rely 100% on your body, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. And what would happen? What would happen to all this? What would happen to the anxiety?
It would be gone.
Totally, 100%.
It wouldn't be any anxiety.
No, not at all. Not at all, because honestly, if you were blind, what's the point of caring about your weight? What's the point, right? What do you think the truth of your body would be if you stopped managing it 100%? 100%.
The truth of my body?
Yeah, if you stopped managing your food consumption 100%. Well, 95%, because there's a 5% you have to choose what you're going to eat, right?
Yeah.
But if you're completely left out of quantities, amounts, calories, grams, everything, can't see it, there's nothing to control with.
The truth of the body. This is a trick question.
No, I'm not doing it. I need to do a better job, maybe explaining it. What do you think the truth of your body is going to be if you stop controlling your food 100%? Meaning you're eating to hunger and you're eating enough for hunger to go away, and you're eating a huge variety of food to include nachos and cookies and tacos and sushi and a little bit of ice cream here and there and, everything. What do you think the truth of the body is? What does your emotions tell you?
I feel like my body. I mean, I feel my body. If I eat to hunger, right, it's going to. My body knows what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and if you eat adequately, right?
Yeah.
You eat when you're hungry. And you eat adequately, kind of the way you would want a kid to eat, the way you would teach a child to eat. You'd be like, don't go full, don't get yourself to where you're uncomfortable and in pain, but don't be so hungry or in pain either. You want to get hungry enough to where you're like, okay, it's time to eat, and then eat enough, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm having. That's where I'm like.
I know, I know that because you're still controlling your food and you're having anxiety about it. That's why. Okay, so I'm trying to get you to look at this. I get that that's the outcome. We both see that clearly. Okay, I know that. I'm trying to help you see what would happen if you stopped controlling your food. 100%, not just 50%. I'll take 50%. That's a huge deal, right? I don't want to diminish that.
Yeah.
I'm talking 100%.
Yeah, because I'm eating, I'm eating it, I ate it, and I ate all of it. And then, I didn't feel nauseous, but then I was like, wait, was that, I don't know. I guess I'm reading too much into it.
Yes, you're still trying to control it. You said you had anxiety. You still have some anxiety.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what is this? Because I've been seeing some videos, I think of you in, when you're eating, during the breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, those are from 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't watch those.
or like you ask your kids, like.
I know that is completely irrelevant to what I'm trying to talk to you about.
Okay.
Yeah, like you're off on some other tangent.
I'm just trying to like figure out like is this like 3.5 or.
Okay, I want to go back to when you said, yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't have anxiety when I ate. Do you remember that?
But it's like the after, like did I just.
Okay, why would you have anxiety?
Because I think I'm comparing myself to like either this book or the
Okay,
videos
so why does it have to be so perfect?
I don't know. That's the thing.
You know,
right?
just stay right there. Just stay right there. There is an answer. Why do you have to be so perfect? What's underneath that perfectionism? Fear of gaining weight?
Fear of gaining weight? I mean, I'm okay. Like I accepted gaining weight.
Okay, for reals. You've truthfully accepted it. You're not just saying that knowledge-wise. You're like, no, I would actually rather be heavier.
No, yeah.
Okay, so then why do you need to be perfect? Can't you don't you get to have a learning curve? Don't you get to figure this out? Don't you get to practice this?
Well, that's kind of like what I told myself, like what I'm telling myself.
Okay, the only reason someone would be implementing perfectionism is if they're afraid to gain weight.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
So sneaky.
Yeah, it is. I know. Aren't you glad I catch it?
Yeah, no.
No,
Thank you.
So go back into your choice. Wouldn't you rather gain weight than to have anxiety with the hunger scale?
Yeah.
So
well,
then, relax.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect. You're figuring this out. You have suffered from a horrible eating disorder for a very long time. I certainly don't expect you to get this like that. I've been doing this for 20 years. 20 years. It's just second nature. I don't even think about the hunger scale. I don't even think about it. It's completely guided by the body at this point. I have no thoughts about it. I'm hungry, I'll eat. I don't even think, what number am I? I don't even go there anymore because it's been 20 years. I can be blindfolded. I can be given anything in any variety. I could be given a bag of chocolate chips and I could eat them and I would tell you exactly when I need to stop, right?
Okay.
Because it's been 20 years.
I know, and I want to be able to do it now.
Yeah, well, that's not very realistic, is it?
I know.
So, and what that tells me, the idea I want to do it now, what does that tell me? What does that tell you? Go into it yourself and you tell me what that means.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Why would anybody expect perfectionism from themselves without giving a realistic learning curve to understand something? Why would there be an immediate expectation of getting it? And then consequential anxiety. Where do you think that would come from? If you were helping someone else who's
fear.
Of what?
Like fear of, I don't know, like gaining weight. Fear of
yes.
Not being
yes.
perfect.
Well, the fear of not being perfect comes from the fear of gaining weight.
Okay.
You see that? I need you to really see that clearly. Like, I'm only being strict with myself about it because I don't want to gain weight.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a difference between a intellectual choice and the emotional choice of what we're doing. Right? There's an intellectual choice going...
Intellectually, like up there. Intellectually up there, 100%.
Okay, I want to talk to the emotional you because that's the one that needs help.
Yeah.
Not your intellect. I think you get this intellectually. It makes sense to you.
I do.
Now let's talk to the emotional you. How's the emotional you feel about gaining weight? Just be truthful. I don't care what it is. If you're like truthfully, emotionally, like you would rather gain weight, that's fine. But I need you to go there. Emotionally, what's the truth?
Okay, so all right, so emotionally. So last time we like trying to, because I wrote some stuff down that came up for me in the last week. And you had said, like, we need to solidify this. And what's going to make you doubt? I think it was something like that.
Yeah, what's going to make you want to lose weight?
What's going to make me want to lose weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then let's see. So I, at some point, put on these jeans, right? So that are like skinny jeans. And they look good, like, on me. And I attached to that.
You could have. We talked about that last session. I said there's a few ways that this is going to go under a relapse. If you liked the weight loss, we did talk about that. You're in trouble.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, like I think what's going to make you feel sorry for yourself. So I wrote down some things that came up for me.
Okay.
And that are not like associated with gain weight, like gaining weight. They're like more like life stuff. And then what? The other thing that happened was I tried out the jeans, and they actually look better than they've looked in the past.
Okay, so would you be willing to throw those jeans away and get fatter ones so that you can stay free?
Yeah, I have them too. I'm wearing the bigger ones now.
Okay, I need you to actually answer the question.
Would I be willing to get rid of them?
Yeah. Would you be willing to gain weight so that they don't look good on you in order to remain?
Yes, I'm willing. I'm willing to gain weight. That's where I was. And then when I went to put them on, like, it seemed like, that's what's throwing me off, I think.
Okay, well, this is...
And I'm attaching to it. That's what I'm doing.
Good job. See, the good news is you're seeing that. So once you attach to it, now you got to keep it. Oh, shit. Now what happens? Now I got to be perfect with the eating to hunger. I need to be perfect. Because I like this.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so so do you have a pen and paper?
I do.
Okay, we're gonna list 5 points, okay, in recovery. In your case, so you can start at any different point. It's not in order of these points, but in your case, and this is the case for a lot of people, the first point of recovery is you have to let go of being thinner than you are. So the image in your mind of the perfect, beautiful, ideal body has to be surrendered. Permanently non-existent. Okay? You'll never, ever be thinner than this. Period. That's one. Or that's the first point. The next point is kind of goes in tangent with the first one. Okay? You have to accept where you're at. Right? Because if you're never going to be thinner than this, you have to accept where you're at. So for people who are, let's just say, 50 pounds heavier than you have to accept that. Okay? That you have to accept the physical limitations. They have to accept the fact that they're never going to fit into their skinny jeans. They have to accept the fact that they will never, ever, look that way again. The clothes that they had when they were that. They have to get rid of all the clothes. They have to keep their thighs rubbing. They have to have bigger triceps and flabby arms. They have to have the skin folds, right? That's number 2. Can you see how number 2 and number 1 go hand in hand? And if you can't accept number 2, you can't complete number 1?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, you have to accept that you will gain weight. You will be fatter. It is a guarantee in a lifetime. You have to be okay with that. And you have to willfully do it. So it's not just I accept it. Oh, I hope I don't. It is, yeah, I'd be willing to gain weight permanently. That's the next thing. It has to be permanent. It's not, I'm okay gaining weight for now. No, that's not, that doesn't complete the third one. Because that means you're still hoping to be thinner, which keeps the first one open, right? You have to be willing to be heavier forever. Okay?
Okay.
If you're willing to be heavier forever, would you get gratification in fitting into those thinner jeans?
No.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, why the hell would you attach to that? I could be getting bigger. So who cares? Today I fit into him. I might not tomorrow. So you stay indifferent about it. You stay completely detached when you've completed that third point of recovery. The fourth point of recovery. Okay, there's 5 points. The fourth point is that you could lose weight without trying. Effortless. You've experienced this when you went and you got weighed, when you went into the ER. You were like, oh my God, I didn't gain weight, or I lost a couple pounds eating all this food. Your body could on its own, without your help, lose weight. Without wanting it, without needing it, without enforcing it, without intending it. It could lose weight. You have to stay detached from that. You've got to...
I feel like that's where I am.
Okay, and the next step is 5. And so number 4 and 5 go hand in hand. Because you could at all times regain lost weight. Yeah. So you see how we're hitting it from every single angle. It's not just I'll never be thinner. I have to stay the same. I could get fatter. I could lose weight. I could regain. All the time. All around. And the recovery is being indifferent and not caring about all 5. I don't care if I lose weight. I don't care if I'm never thinner than this. I'm okay with where I'm at. I don't care. I don't care if I gain weight. I don't care if I lose weight and then regain it. I don't care. If you are indifferent about all of that, what happens to your ability to eat to hunger and fullness?
It just comes natural.
Yeah, it does. And why would you have anxiety? Why do you have anxiety? Because none of it matters. Who gives a shit? Why would you even need to weigh yourself, right? What's the point of weighing yourself if you're going to eat to hunger and you're going to listen to the body and eat? I'm eating bread right now. I'm eating the crust from pizza. Right now, I'm talking to you and I'm eating crust from pizza. Right? It was Sam's Club pizza, people. So, oh my God, there's gluten in the crust. Oh.
My gosh.
Right.
I feel like that's where, step 1, step 2, and then I got to step 3, and then I realized that eating to my body is, even though I'm eating, different foods, all types of foods that I've never allowed myself to really eat before.
Okay, the word is bad food. Use the word bad food because that's the terminology from that brainwashing that you used to have. You're eating bad food. It's fattening food, right?
Carbs.
Oh, so bad for you. Oh my God.
Sugar.
Oh, so addictive. So addictive.
Yeah. So, and I feel like my body is just okay. If anything, it's all right, you're going right through.
Well, part of that is because you don't have the anxiety until you have anxiety. And guess what's about to happen to your body? The moment you got into that body image again, anxiety came up, and I guarantee you're going to gain weight.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I think go back to step one.
Yeah,
right? Like,
you do. You have to be like, I don't want it. I don't want any of it. I don't want to care. I don't care. I'd rather be completely free from caring about my size and weight forever. So the only way for me to do that is to be indifferent about not just gaining weight, but losing it and then regaining it and then losing it and regaining it. I don't want to care. I don't want to think about it. I don't even want it to be a part of my life ever again.
Okay.
How's that sound?
No, I want. Yeah. That's where I was.
How's it sound? How does it sound?
It sounds amazing.
I know.
It sounds freeing. Like, I'm like, I want to.
So you get to the point where you're like, I don't care. The thinner ideal isn't worth that suffering. Forever. I'm telling you this right now, that if someone came to me and said, Robin, it's time, you have to be 500 pounds, I'd be like, okay, I can do that. I say that, I'm saying it from my heart. Like, I am telling the truth. Because that's how horribly I suffered trying to fix my body. A 500-pound body is like, that would be easy in comparison. I'm not saying that wouldn't be hard physically, but psychologically, I could totally handle that. I'm aware of how to handle that now. Right? You do it through acceptance. And you open your mind to what you can do and what you can think. And you have gratitude, right? For the thoughts and the mind that you have that's free to think. But you know what? When you have to fix your weight, you realize what happens to that free mind of yours. It gets sucked into a tunnel vision about your weight. And that projects into fear of food. And that's where anxiety comes up. And that's where your perfectionism sets in, right? The clutchingness of, I got to be perfect because I don't want to regain the weight. Isn't this just amazing? It's so simple. So simple.
It really is.
I know. And can you see this more clearly now?
Oh, yeah, no. Like, absolutely. Like, here I thought, like, I was just like, oh, well, like I was telling myself that, like, I am in a learning curve, I'm trying to figure it out, but, like, now, like, kind of got to that, like, the bottom of it.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, but Robin, I'm not dieting, I'm eating all these bad foods, right? I'm eating all this stuff, I'm eating crap. Whatever terminology they're using, and that immediately tells me, oh, they're dieting, even though they say, but I'm letting myself have the cookie. Well, I know inherently that they're thinking it's bad food, so they're telling themselves, well, I can only have a couple bites, or I can only have 2. So they're restricting, even though they're allowing that food item, they're still restricting it within the allowance of it. And so you might not be doing that, but how you're doing it and how it's manifesting is perfectionism with listening to the hunger scale.
Okay.
Can you see how that would happen and why it would happen?
Yeah, no, now like that we're talking about it, I can see it.
You can see it now. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, go ahead.
No, I'm nodding and going, yeah. Well, and it takes, for many people, it takes experiencing this for it to make sense. Because now you're kind of going, oh, why am I experiencing that anxiety again? Why is that back? I'm having a hard time listening to hunger. You in your mind, there was a conscious choice and willingness to get bigger. But what you didn't have awareness of is if you get smaller, you have to let go of staying small, staying thin. You have to let the staying thin go away. You have to be willing to regain weight at all times. Think of it this way. You have to be willing to regain and gain weight at all times, permanently, forever.
Okay.
No matter where you are in terms of gaining weight, losing weight, staying the same. You have to continuously at all times, I'm willing to gain weight. And actually, once you're willing to gain weight from all points of view, you don't have to constantly be willing to gain weight. You don't have to always convince yourself. It's there. It's part of that fact. It's your hardwiring now. Telling you 20 years later, I've never relapsed. And there's a reason why. Because I literally would rather be heavier than I am at all times, if it means freedom. To have the bread from the crust of the pizza. That I got at Walmart. That I did not measure. That had everything on it.
So, do you think that, like, the cravings are coming from the anxiety? Like, where
yes,
the cravings
yes,
come from?
that would be the case. So typically, the anxiety, the cravings attached to the anxiety comes from what you feel could be going away or what you shouldn't be having. It's usually attached to that. The emotions around the food that you call bad food in your mind.
Okay.
You would call those special foods if you want to call them special. They have that specialness to them, sparkle.
Okay.
That's actually an emotional desire, not necessarily an actual physical craving. Physical craving comes from the mouth, like what sounds palatable. It's not something that's constructed as from a desire point of view. It's actually like, ooh, what would taste really good? And it wouldn't be impulsive. And once you've tasted it, it would feel satisfied. So it doesn't have to have more and more and more and more and more and more and more. So, for example, if I had some nachos, at the movie theater, so I know a lot of people are like, what? Oh, it's like cheese product. I seriously love that shit. You could have had some, but then you would have at some point been like, oh, this isn't tasting as good. And I'll just throw it away. Because there's nothing wrong with eating them, and you can eat them tomorrow, the next day. You could actually get another thing of nachos if you really wanted another thing of nachos if you got hungry during the movie. I mean, it's in plenty at all times, so there's no reason for you to eat the whole thing right now.
Okay.
You would have to go into that, and you're the one that's going to have to tell the story of it. I mean, I'm sitting here on the outside. I wasn't there. I don't know what the actual, I mean, once you say anxiety, that tells me a lot. That means this is threatening. Why would that food be threatening? Why would eating to hunger? Why would you have anxiety eating to hunger, right? It only makes sense if you're afraid of the food you're eating and it has to be perfect. The only reason you'd have fear of that food is because you have fear of gaining weight. Or fear that you're going to lose the gratification of the thinnerness. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I liked how I looked in those jeans. Well, great. Maybe you should not attach to like the likingness of that. Don't make it your central focus. Don't make it center. Don't identify with it. Right? If you identify with those jeans that you liked, what happens?
Then I'm just gonna make sure that I continue to fit into them.
Yeah, and that making sure you fit into it projects into how you eat your food, doesn't it?
Yes.
Or increases the need for you to exercise, to manage it that way. Yeah. I see that often too. People don't catch that. Like, are you all of a sudden exercising more? Yeah!
Yeah.
Well, sounds like you're not recovering. That's 5 points. It means that you are done with all of it. You're done with all of it.
Okay.
How does that sound to you?
It sounds like I was there.
Well, how does it sound to you right in this moment?
It sounds like I want to go. Like it sounds good. Like I want to go back there.
Okay. So what is it going to take for you to go back there?
Not care.
Yeah. So my suggestion is go put those pants on and don't give a shit any direction, whether they're tighter or looser. You know, one of the, right? You got to get to where you're like, that suffering that I am free from is not worth caring about how I fit in these damn jeans. So if I look good, sweet. If I don't, sweet. Who cares?
Okay.
Right? Wouldn't you rather look like shit in the mirror than to feel like shit in your soul?
Yeah.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I know. Don't forget that. That's the other thing I want you to always remember in those moments. Do I really want to suffer like that again? Do I want to suffer like that again?
I like that.
Well, because then
I'd rather look like shit in the mirror
than to feel like shit in your soul.
Than to feel like shit in my soul. That's awesome.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to make that my feet.
right. And you can quote it. The thing is that it's not like we are trying and looking and wanting. It's not wanting. It's not caring about the truth
Not
of
caring.
Yeah.
Not caring.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean I don't wear makeup or don't do my hair. I don't play with social structure. I live in the same culture you do. Right? I'm accommodating to this culture, but I certainly am not going to become the culture. It isn't who I am. So you have to separate the truth of the soul and the alma from within from the facade of what culture wants you to be like on the outside. So what does looking good in the jeans have to do with the inside?
Yeah.
Nothing. And so you just don't take it serious. It's like, so what? Damn, I look good in these jeans. So what? And you move on. Damn, I look good with this makeup on. Oh, well, I don't care. It's like, it's here nor there. It's just part of living in life. It's like playing dress up. It's fun to play dress up. It's fun. But why take it so serious, right? Why make it like, I'm a better human being? Look, I look good. I'm so superior in my beingness now that I look good in relation to cultural dogma about how women should look in today's cultural standards, right? Damn, I look good based on the misogynistic ideology of what men want to have sex with. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see how it's like, I can fit in, but I don't take it serious. So if I were to travel the world and the dress code for women is different, I would totally dress the code of that culture. Does that mean that I'm a bad person because I'm dressing differently than my culture? Does it mean that I'm a better person because I'm dressing their way of that culture? Right? Do you see how like you got to separate who you are from the inside, from the truth of the soul, from the truth of your godliness, what that is in all of us? You got to separate that from the facades of the environment. Right? So whether you look hot in those jeans, outdated in those jeans, if they're mom jeans, if they're whatever the fuck they are, good for you, and who cares? If you look like crap, good for you, and who cares? It's all relative anyways. It's all relative. You know what's so great about this too is when you see someone else who looks good in their jeans, they don't threaten you. Yeah, that's a novel concept, right? Most anorexics are highly, highly vulnerable and competitive with other people who look better than them. So you see someone who's hotter, taller, leaner, tanner, better makeup, nicer clothes, whatever, and you don't make them better than you because you see the facade of it all. So you can still connect with people even if they are accommodating to social dogma. You don't feel threatened anymore because you don't think it's serious, and therefore it's not serious even if they think it's serious. You don't care. I have this one friend who really thinks she's extra special because she has a Louis Vuitton handbag. She wants to tell us all about it all the time. And she tells us how much it costs. Does anybody really care? Well, people like her. Does it change any form of love and connection I feel for her? Not at all. Even if she's telling us the handbag, I can go, oh, she thinks it's true. She thinks it's real. She doesn't see that this is all a game. So I just feel sorry for that part of her that's not connecting. I still love her anyways.
So you read my mind sometimes, you know? In the sense that recently there's this yoga instructor, and she's tall and leaner and a vegan, and
good for her.
It's like taking pictures in her bikini.
Oh, that poor thing. Right.
And it's like you know, then I'm like, well, I have a nice body too. Like, why can I take pictures of my bikini and post them on Instagram or Facebook?
Why would you want to do that? I
know.
What's the point? What do you need? Why would you need to do that? What are you looking for? What are you identifying with? Right?
Yeah. And this is part of everything that just kind of happened.
Well, and on the same side, if your picture in a bikini is on the internet, does it matter? Does it matter? What's the point? What's the context? What's the reasoning? Do you care? If there was a picture of me in a bikini on the internet, I wouldn't give a shit. Right? But at the same time, I'm not going to use a picture of me in a bikini to promote myself, because that's like saying I am that. Right? I wouldn't identify by it. So when people do that, that's a sign that they're identifying by the ideal in it. And who knows? Maybe she's doing yoga poses. Maybe she's identifying by the, who knows? Let her live what she's living through, whether her choice to be a vegan is coming from the heart or if it's coming from the identity of a yoga vegan, whatever it is, she's going to end up having lessons and she'll figure it out, and it's none of our business. Do you really want to post pictures of yourself in a bikini on the internet?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, and even if you did, you'd have to go, well, what is it that I want? What is it that it symbolizes that I want? Because it's not necessarily the picture on the internet that you want. What does that do? Nothing. It's a picture on the internet. It's meaningless. It's the symbolism of what that picture, it's what you think it's doing for you. Like it's got a job and there's a reward, right?
Yeah.
You have to really look at what would, for you, we can't tell what her motives are other than that's what she's doing and she's getting something out of it. If you were to post a picture of yourself, what is your motive? I've posted selfies of me and my dog. Okay? What's my motive? Besides having a record that I love this dog and this dog loves me, and here's a love fest between me and an animal. I do it with my husband too. We go on dates. I love posting our date night pictures. Why would I do that? Well, for me, it's really for my own recollection of it. I love the timeline pictures that I see of me and my kids, and it's, to me, it's like, yeah, you could say it's all about me. But I don't care what anybody thinks or how they see it or what they do with it. So I have freedom in it, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of back in August, when I was like struggling the most. I did a juice cleanse of like that was before actually the juice cleanse. But I did take a picture. Somebody, my friend, took a picture of me at the beach, and I did post it. And it was all for the wrong reason.
Okay.
And thinking back, I'm like, oh.
Why were?
I don't want to delete that picture.
Don't delete it. I don't want you to delete it.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
No, what you can do if you want to is actually make a comment. You can say, oh man, I posted this when I had such low self-esteem. I really thought that the body was, in the way it looked, would get me attention and a feeling of being lovable. You can just put that out there.
Yeah.
Just
that's
say
exactly like why I put it.
Yeah.
I was at my lowest. And then I came back to that trip, and then I did a 3-day juice cleanse that threw me into another.
Right? So why take that down when you can have an opportunity to just tell a story about it?
Yeah.
Are you out about having your eating disorder?
No.
Okay, well, you don't have to. But you know what? I wish that people who suffered like this would tell the truth to the public.
Yeah.
Because you realize that there are people that saw that picture and they thought you were happy.
Yeah.
They thought you were living the life, that you had reached the destination. That's what people who saw it thought.
Yeah.
They don't know that you were miserable and bulimic and doing impulsive cleanses and self-obsessed and about to check yourself into rehab. They didn't know that. Well, kind of like that yoga instructor who's vegan. She's not necessarily telling people that she's suicidal or that she's got extreme anxiety around food that limits her ability to go out and like a normal human being. She can't go on dates. She can't go out in public. She can't, all she thinks about is yoga. I mean, could be a variety of situations there, but she's not talking about that, is she? She's just posting pictures of her posing in a bathing suit on the beach. Because she's reached the destination of happiness. And vegan is what did it for her. Look, see, I'm beautiful in my bikini. That's what did it for me. The truth needs to be told. So if you feel up to it, go for it. Make a comment on your own picture about this picture represents one of the most miserable times in my life. Or not. It doesn't matter to me. But just a thought. Or just delete it. No. Deleting it is a good answer too. I'm just giving you options. Yeah. I mean, things to think about. Like, how much has body image Excuse me. You know, how much has it really impacted how you identify life and the worth of life, you know, and what's it about, and how much has it defined your calling and what you do, and how much do you really want it to, how much more of this life do you want it to take up, you know? You're super young.
Yeah.
You know what? You should be so grateful that you hit the bottom sooner than later. And do you really want to care about your weight? Whether it's thinner or fatter or anything in between. Do you really want your weight and your size to take up any more space, thought, or any existence in the rest of this life?
Absolutely not.
So then you go blind to it. You go blind. You become blind and dumb about it. I don't even know. It doesn't exist to me.
Yeah.
Even if you could, even if you had the naturally most hottest body on the planet, do you really want to post a picture of it?
No.
Right? Because then is that what you want your life to focus on?
No.
I know, me neither. Because you know what? Any day now I'm going to be 500 pounds. So why would I post that? Any day.
You know,
because I ate the crust of that pizza. I'm about to blow up.
God. Well, like, I have to tell you, I have here, our consultation was January 25th, so it's about a month short of a month, and, like, what I have experienced in the last month, doesn't, compare. It truly has been amazing. Like, I haven't felt, and it's not even, I haven't even really, I don't know. The last month, the freedom that I've had in the last month, I haven't had my whole life.
Would you be willing to write that in my book?
What?
Would you be willing to, write a little story about what your life was like and then how this process has affected you so I can put it in my book?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It can be as simple as 5 paragraphs of this is how bad it was. This is how horrendous it was. Here's what I did. This is when I finally reached out to Robin, and this is what happened. 5 paragraphs.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, I'm writing it right now, and your name, it won't be used. It'll be it'll just be case study.
Yeah.
Her name is Sarah. We'll make up a name. And you don't even have to worry about grammar. It just has to be an expression of what this has done for you. And it will go into a book, into a chapter as a chapter heading, as an example. Your story will be the example of, grief with your dog. It'll be a story right there. Just that one session would be a story. Anyways.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so I'm writing it right now, so if you do it, that would be awesome. And anybody who's listening to this, I really would love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I will, because I can't even begin telling you, that, the last month,
it's amazing.
It's been truly amazing.
It's a miracle.
I know
to me, it's
scratched the surface.
Well, to me, it's miraculous. It is miraculous. Yeah. It's a miracle, and I'm not saying that because I'm doing that, because I haven't done anything for you. All I've done is say, look at it from this point of view. Look at it from here. Look at it from there. That's it. The fact that it could be that bad, and this, it could be that good, is miraculous. That's something from above. I'm grateful too. I've experienced this. Do you know much gratitude I have for it? It's amazing.
I know, I'm like crying for like out of gratitude.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah.
You know, it's not pain, it's not sadness, it's just like I feel so grateful.
This is why I do it. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It's not mine. I can't even tell you how we did this. How did this happen? I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't have a plan. We didn't have a plan. There's no script.
No.
Have you heard anything from your friends you were in outpatient recovery?
Yeah. Yes.
How are they doing? Has this helped them at all, listening to your sessions?
Yeah, I believe I sent it to a few people. I think Veronica did join the Patreon account and
oh, cool.
yeah.